What is going on, mood lifters? I wanted to make this quick video. This is something different than what I'm used to because I'm there on Zoom and talking and all that stuff, and I just think it's better, sitting in a throne to just talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, just because my nutrition has been struggling lately, and this is something that I have to remind myself constantly with, but it's basically 5 guidelines that I typically follow for my nutrition. And I made a short video on this, but I want to explain it a little bit further. And I'm gonna put my hands down like this because it's just weird. But in this video, I'm gonna go over 5 nutritional guidelines that you could follow on your mental health, exercise journey. Remember that nutrition is not only for the body, it's for the mind as well. It actually impacts your mood and overall well-being. High levels of stress can correlate to poor nutrition, or poor nutrition can play a large part on depression and anxiety. So I want to go over this real quick, and these guidelines are something that they're very practical guidelines, and you could take with them what you will, and you can modify them however you want, but this is just typically something that I follow on my journey. So with that being said, let's get started. Number 1, 80-20 rule, 80-20 everything fitness. Doesn't matter if it's exercise, nutrition, sleep, 80% of the time, you should be on point with your program. 80% of the time, you should be on point with your nutrition. 80% of the time, you should be on point with sleep, etc. This means that nothing has to be perfect. You don't have to have the most perfect routine. You just need to build up to that 80-20. In regards to nutrition, 80% of the foods that you eat should come from whole foods. 20% of it should come from somewhat processed or processed foods. And as you know, whole foods can be things like fish, chicken, broccoli, asparagus, brown rice, white rice, potatoes, etc. And then your processed foods are going to be your chocolate chip cookies, the sin snacks, right? The stuff that we all know and love. And if you follow an 80-20 rule of the sort and you're on point with your whole foods most of the time, you're going to see improvements in your mental health, especially if it's something that you're just getting started with. And I have days where I'll eat a lot more processed foods, and I'm feeling it now. My training has been kind of poor because I've just been having a good time with my processed foods. And now it's like, okay, I gotta take a step back. I gotta focus on getting my whole foods in, my fruits and vegetables in, and things like that. And this, number 1, is this overarching thing that you should focus on as a whole. And it kind of bleeds into the other principles or guidelines that you could follow. But ideally, research supports that those who tend to eat more whole foods tend to report less depression and anxiety. So there's a correlation to that. Number 2 is protein with every meal. I'm gonna advocate a protein with every meal, mainly because clients in the past, it's hard to get protein in. I resonate with that a lot. And I would look at people's diet plans and stuff. I'm like, oh, you're missing a lot of protein in here. And you don't need a ton of protein. You should have a good amount of 1 to 2 palm servings of protein per meal. And you should have that over the course of 3 to 6 meals, depending on your meal preferences. And the reason why we want this is going to be for many things. It's an essential macronutrient. It's good for amino acid production. It's good for muscle retention. It's good for muscle growth. It's good for neurotransmitter production like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, things like that. It helps produce the brain neurotransmitters. It helps you stay fuller for longer periods of time as well. Most of the guys I help on the mood lifters, they tend to eat a lot more processed foods on average, so they don't get enough protein in. But then when they start implementing protein, they're fuller for longer periods of time, and they notice weight loss as a result of it because they're not implementing protein, but they're eating all these carbohydrates and high saturated fats and things like that. And just this small adjustment can essentially move mountains over time. Number 3 is your healthy fats. Something that I recommend with the healthy fats is fish and fish oil. Fish like salmon and fish oil have omega-3 fatty acids. And the one that I'm a big proponent of is EPA. Research has shown that EPA upwards to 1 gram per day has been shown to help people with depression and anxiety. Sometimes people need more, sometimes people need less, but there's results from it. It's mainly because that fatty acid actually helps with brain health overall. So it's something to consider when you're implementing this diet plan. If you hate fish, supplement with fish oil. But just make sure you're getting some omega-3s in your diet, mainly because if you're somebody that's just getting started with your fitness journey, you're one of my mood lifters who's eating a lot more processed foods on average, you're probably gonna get a lot more omega-6s, you're probably gonna get a lot more saturated fats, trans fats, things like that. But we're kind of neglecting the polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats, and we're neglecting the EPA, which we really need. And these kind of small adjustments can move mountains over time, like I've said before, if you've just been following these so far. And just to let you know, if you implement one of these 5 guidelines, and I'm going to interrupt it here, one of these 5 guidelines, and you do it for a couple of weeks and then you add another, you're going to see significant improvements over time. Mood lifters, just wanted to interrupt this video really quick to talk about our Slumber Hero 4-week challenge. If you're somebody that's dealing with poor bouts of sleep and you know the importance of sleep in terms of recovery, weight loss, and all that stuff, we'd love to have you in here. Hit that link in the description below and we'll give you access to a bunch of sleep content in addition to free courses in our community as well. So we'd love to have you in here, and let's get back into it. Number 4, hydration. Stay hydrated, guys. A general ballpark, or most people recommend, is 8 cups of water per day, or maybe a gallon per day. It just depends on the person. Some people may need more, some people may need less, depending on how much they weigh. But hydration is essential for mood and well-being. There's research that supports that people that are more hydrated tend to have less depression and anxiety symptoms. So that's something to consider as well. It's really interesting how nutrition plays a big part in our mood and well-being, and some adjustments to our diet can significantly change our mental health. And it's just a tool. Nutrition is a tool that you can utilize along with exercise for mental health, along with therapy, things like that. But if your nutrition is not on point, it's something that it's worth considering for your mood and well-being. But like I said, you can start your day off with a cup of water. Keep a Hydro Flask on you at all times. Sip it, drink it, enjoy it. Workout sessions, drink your water, stay hydrated, please. We don't want to have a bad time there. The 5th one that I recommend is 3 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. 1 serving of veggies is a fist serving, and then 1 serving of fruits is like a cupped handful serving. And this is going to be good for your vitamins. This is going to be good for your fiber, so you can use the bathroom. Your gut will thank you, and the gut plays a large part in our mood and well-being as well. If we have a really shitty gut, we're going to have a bad time. So make sure you get your fruits and vegetables in. It's good for the fiber. It's good for the nutrients. Essentially eat the rainbow. One thing I can recommend to you guys, I know that a lot of people go grocery shopping, they buy all these vegetables, and they tend to buy a lot up front, and then they tend to decay, I guess you could call it. They tend to deteriorate. One thing I recommend in that regard is buy frozen vegetables. If you go down the frozen aisle at your grocery stores, there's gonna be frozen fruit, frozen vegetables. If you look at the ingredients, it's just the whole foods in it. Ingredient is just broccoli, ingredient is just blueberries, things like that. The frozen option is probably the best option to keep your food non-perishable as much as possible. So you have, let's say you buy a bag of strawberries, that's gonna last you possibly a few weeks, maybe even a week or so, and then you get back into it, just depending on your personal preferences with fruits and vegetables. I tend to, if I wanna hit my vegetable goal, 1 bag of the broccoli will basically hit all 5 servings, because it's about 5 servings in there. And if you have 1 frozen bag of broccoli, you'll basically hit your servings for the day. And if you buy multiple bags, you'll be chilling. You'll be getting a good amount of nutrients in. So I can talk about this stuff all day, guys. It's something that I do. I've learned so much from. Obviously, these are just general guidelines that people can follow to see results. And obviously, there's more to it. You can add more to it over time, but this is just something that I follow, remind myself, hey, make sure you're getting your hydration in, make sure you're getting your fruits and vegetables in, etc. Now that's pretty much it for today's video. Comment down below if you have any questions in regards to nutrition, exercise, sleep, anything in regards to that and its connection to mental health. That's what we're here for. And as you guys know, we have a Mood Lifters Alliance community. If you go in the link in the description below, you can join our private community. Essentially what we do is help people use exercise as a way to battle depression and anxiety in this connected world today. We tend to feel more lonely, which is really weird. And if we have this community of the sort that constantly lifts people up, that loneliness aspect might dissipate. So that's essentially what we're here for, exercising for mental health. Like I said, link in the description below. We got some exciting things ahead for you guys. Much love to you all. We'll talk soon. Peace. Mood lifters, thanks for watching this video. I've handpicked another video for you to the side right here. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. We'd love to see you in here. Much love to you all. We'll talk soon. Take care.